Have you ever felt stuck in life, questioning your worth because of past failures? Maybe you've tried your best but still felt like it's not enough. What if I told you that those struggles you face aren't roadblocks, but stepping stones? They might just be your greatest teachers. In this video, we're diving into 10 profound Buddhist principles that have stood the test of time. These teachings are not just ancient wisdom. They're powerful tools you can use today to transform self-doubt into confidence and inner strength. Whether you've faced failure, setbacks, or moments of uncertainty, these principles will guide you toward finding clarity, peace, and purpose. So, let's take this journey together and discover the strength that already exists within you. 1. Failure as a seed of growth. Let's talk about Thomas Edison, one of history's most celebrated inventors. His journey to creating the light bulb wasn't smooth. It was marked by over 10,000 failed attempts. Imagine the frustration he might have felt. Yet, when someone asked him about his failures, he simply said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His perspective transformed those failures into stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Now, picture this. Edison could have quit after his 100th, 500th, or even his 9.999th attempt. What if he had thought, maybe I'm just not good enough? But he didn't. He understood that each failure brought him closer to success. His story reminds us that persistence is not just admirable, it's essential. Think about a time when you tried something and failed. Maybe it was a project at work, an exam you didn't pass, or even a business idea that didn't take off. How did that make you feel? Did you label yourself a failure? Or did you see it as part of your journey? Edison's story shows us that even the greatest achievements are born from countless setbacks. Here's the truth. Failure isn't a sign that you're not good enough. It's proof that you're trying. Each setback is a chance to learn, adjust, and move forward. Think of failure as feedback, not a final verdict. Without it, there's no progress, no growth, and no innovation. Let's go deeper into this idea. Why do we fear failure so much? In many cultures, failure is seen as shameful, something to hide or avoid. But in reality, failure is universal. Everyone experiences it, from students to CEOs, from athletes to artists. It's not failure that defines us, it's our response to it. When you encounter failure, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What did I learn from this experience? 2. How can I do better next time? 3. How does this failure fit into my larger journey? By reframing failure as a learning experience, you shift your mindset from defeat to determination. Every great success is built on a foundation of failures. Think about it. How can you appreciate success if you've never struggled? What matters isn't how many times you fall, but how many times you rise. Each failure is a chapter in your story, and you're the one writing the ending. You're not alone in your struggles. Edison failed. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job for being unfit for television. These people didn't let failure define them, they let it refine them. And so can you. Here's what I want you to do. Take a moment to reflect on a recent failure. Write it down, but don't stop there. Underneath it, write one thing you learned from that experience. Then, think of one action you can take today to apply that lesson. Remember, failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of growth. Imagine if every failure you've experienced so far was actually preparing you for something bigger. Imagine if the setbacks were strengthening you for your breakthrough. Because they are. The most important thing you can do today is to stop seeing failure as a stop sign and start seeing it as a detour, a necessary part of your journey to success. And one more thing, be kind to yourself. When you fail, don't criticize yourself harshly. Instead, ask, what would I say to a friend in this situation? Chances are, you'd be encouraging, supportive, and understanding. Give yourself the same grace. Thomas Edison didn't let 10,000 failures stop him, and neither should you. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to fuel your next steps. You've got this. 2. Rise above mistakes. Let me share the story of J.K. Rowling, the world-famous author of Harry Potter. Before she became a household name, Rowling faced rejection after rejection. 12 publishers turned her down, saying her story wasn't worth publishing. She was a single mother, struggling to make ends meet, and even battled depression. Imagine how easy it would have been for her to give up, to let those rejections define her. But she didn't. Instead, Rowling rose above those setbacks and believed in her story. Eventually, one small publisher gave her a chance, and the rest is history. Today, her books have sold over 500 million copies and inspired generations. Have you ever made a mistake that left you questioning your abilities? Maybe it was at work, in a relationship, or even a personal goal you didn't achieve. It's easy to let those mistakes weigh us down, but what if we viewed them differently? Mistakes, like Rowling's rejections, are not the end of the road. They're detours guiding us towards something better. Mistakes are inevitable. Everyone makes them. But here's the truth. You are not defined by your mistakes. You're defined by how you rise above them. Mistakes are not a measure of your worth. They're opportunities to grow, adapt, and improve. Think of them as stepping stones, not stop signs. Let's explore this further. Why do we let mistakes affect us so deeply? Often, it's because we tie our self-worth to our performance. When we fail, we feel like failures. But the reality is, making a mistake doesn't mean you're inadequate. It means you're human. Mistakes are how we learn. Without them, there's no improvement, no innovation, and no progress. Here's a simple shift in perspective. Instead of seeing a mistake as a failure, see it as feedback. Ask yourself, 1. What can I learn from this? 2. How can I avoid this in the future? 3. What skills or strengths can I build because of this experience? You are more than your mistakes. They don't define who you are. They shape who you become. Each time you rise above a mistake, you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Remember, the most successful people in the world are those who didn't let their mistakes stop them. They let them guide them. Think about Oprah Winfrey. She was fired from her first job as a news anchor because she was deemed unfit for television. Imagine if she had let that mistake define her career. Instead, she rose above it and became one of the most influential figures in media. Her story proves that a single mistake doesn't have to define your destiny. Here's what I encourage you to do. Think about a recent mistake that's been weighing on your mind. Write it down, but don't stop there. Write 3 lessons you've learned from it. Then, write 1 action you can take today to move forward. Remember, a mistake is not a failure. It's a chance to grow. Imagine if every mistake you've made so far has been preparing you for your breakthrough. Think of mistakes as the building blocks of your success. When you stumble, don't be hard on yourself. Instead, ask, what's the next step? Take that step, no matter how small it feels. It's progress, and progress is what counts. J.K. Rowling didn't let rejection define her, and Oprah Winfrey didn't let being fired hold her back. Neither should you. Mistakes aren't the end of your story. They're just a plot twist. Rise above them, learn from them, and keep moving forward. The best chapters of your life are still ahead. 3. Embrace struggles as growth opportunities. Let's talk about the lotus flower, a symbol of resilience and purity in Buddhist philosophy. The lotus is unique because it grows in muddy, murky waters. Its roots dig deep into the mud, but it rises above, emerging as a beautiful, untouched flower. The same mud that could suffocate it becomes the foundation for its growth. The lotus reminds us that beauty and strength can emerge from even the most difficult circumstances. Think about your own life. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the mud, buried under stress, failure, or uncertainty? Maybe it's a tough job, a challenging relationship, or a personal struggle you can't seem to overcome. It's easy to feel like the mud is pulling you down, but what if it's actually preparing you to rise? Struggles aren't barriers, they're opportunities. Every challenge you face strengthens you, teaching you patience, resilience, and determination. Like the lotus, your roots grow stronger in the mud, preparing you to bloom. The struggles in your life aren't there to break you, they're there to build you. Why do we fear struggles so much? Often, it's because we see them as signs of failure or weakness. But in truth, struggles are universal. No one's life is without challenges. The difference lies in how we approach them. When you face a struggle, ask yourself, 1. What is this teaching me? 2. How can I use this experience to grow? 3. What strengths am I developing through this challenge? By shifting your perspective, you can transform struggles into stepping stones toward your goals. You are like the lotus flower. No matter how muddy the waters around you are, you have the strength to rise above them. Every struggle is shaping you, making you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You are not defined by what you go through. You are defined by how you rise. Think of someone like Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison. Instead of letting the mud of his circumstances defeat him, he used that time to grow mentally and emotionally. When he emerged, he became a global symbol of peace and resilience. His story proves that even in the darkest times, you can rise and inspire others. Here's what I want you to do. Take a moment to reflect on a current struggle in your life. Write it down, but don't stop there. Next to it, write one thing this struggle is teaching you. Then, write one action you can take to move forward. Remember, you are not stuck, you're growing. Imagine if the struggles you're facing right now are preparing you for your breakthrough. Every challenge is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. Just like the lotus, you will rise stronger, brighter, and more beautiful than ever. The lotus grows in mud, but it blooms in beauty. Your struggles may feel overwhelming, but they are part of your journey toward greatness. Embrace them, learn from them, and use them to rise above. The muddy waters aren't your enemy, they're your foundation. Trust yourself and trust the process. 4. Small actions lead to big changes. Let me tell you about a man named John. John was overweight, stressed, and unhappy with his life. One day, he decided to make a change, not by overhauling his entire routine, but by taking small, consistent steps. He started walking for just 10 minutes a day. Over time, that walk turned into a jog, then a run. A year later, John ran his first marathon. What began as a simple daily habit transformed his entire life. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the size of a goal? Maybe it's a dream career, a healthier lifestyle, or a personal project. You think, there's no way I can accomplish this. It's too much. But what if the secret isn't doing it all at once? What if the key is to start small and stay consistent? Big changes don't happen overnight. They're the result of small, repeated actions over time. Think of water dripping onto a rock. One drop may seem insignificant, but over years, those drops can carve through solid stone. In the same way, small efforts may seem trivial today, but they can create monumental changes in the long run. Why do small actions work? Because they're manageable. When you focus on small steps, you build momentum, confidence, and discipline. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Ask yourself, 1. What's one small action I can take today toward my goal? 2. How can I make this action a consistent part of my routine? 3. How will this small habit benefit me in the long term? By breaking down big goals into smaller actions, you make them achievable. Every small action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. Small steps may seem insignificant now, but they're building the foundation for something extraordinary. Remember, greatness doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from consistent effort. Think about people like Serena Williams or Elon Musk. Their success didn't happen overnight. It came from years of small, daily efforts, practice, learning, and perseverance. Their journeys remind us that small actions, repeated over time, lead to incredible results. Here's your challenge. Identify one small action you can take today. Maybe it's writing one paragraph for a project, going for a 10-minute walk, or learning a new skill for 5 minutes. Write it down, commit to it, and do it. Then repeat it tomorrow. Over time, these small actions will add up to big changes. Imagine where you could be a year from now if you committed to one small, positive action every day. Small steps may feel insignificant in the moment, but they're powerful. They build habits, shape your mindset, and create momentum. Don't underestimate the power of small beginnings. They lead to big transformations. John started with a 10-minute walk, and it changed his life. What's your first step? No matter how small it feels, take it today. Remember, the journey to 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Trust in the process. Stay consistent, and watch how those small actions lead to the big changes you've been dreaming of. 5. Be kind to yourself. Imagine a child learning to walk. They take a few wobbly steps and then fall down. What do? We cheer them on. We tell them, "You're doing great. Try again." We don't criticize them for falling because we know it's part of the process. But now, think about how we treat ourselves when we stumble. Do we offer the same encouragement, or do we judge ourselves harshly? Have you ever failed at something and immediately started criticizing yourself? Maybe you made a mistake at work, missed a deadline, or fell short of a personal goal. Instead of offering yourself compassion, you might have thought, "I'm not good enough," or "I always mess things up." But ask yourself this: would you ever speak to a friend that way? So why do we speak to ourselves like that? Self-compassion isn't weakness, it's strength. When you're kind to yourself, you create a safe space to learn, grow, and try again. Harsh self-criticism doesn't motivate you. It holds you back. Treating yourself with kindness allows you to recover faster and move forward with confidence. Why is it so hard to be kind to ourselves? Often, it's because we're conditioned to believe that self-criticism leads to improvement. But research shows the opposite. Self-compassion increases resilience, creativity, and motivation. Think of it this way: when you're kind to yourself, you're planting the seeds of growth. Ask yourself, 1. How would I speak to a friend in my situation? 2. What do I need right now to feel supported? 3. How can I forgive myself and move forward? These questions can help shift your mindset from judgment to understanding. You deserve the same kindness you give to others. Mistakes don't make you unworthy, they make you human. When you treat yourself with compassion, you're not ignoring your flaws, you're choosing to grow from them. Think about someone like Maya Angelou. Despite facing immense challenges, she often spoke about the importance of self-love and forgiveness. She once said, "I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better." This wisdom reminds us to be patient with ourselves as we learn and grow. Here's your task. Take a moment to think about a mistake you've been holding on to. Write it down, and then write 3 kind, supportive things you would say to a friend in the same situation. Say those things to yourself. Then, make a plan to move forward with kindness and clarity. Imagine if every time you stumbled, you became your own biggest cheerleader. How much more confident and resilient would you feel? Kindness isn't just something we give to others, it's something we owe ourselves. When you start treating yourself with compassion, you unlock your true potential. The child learning to walk doesn't stop trying because they fell. They get up, try again, and eventually succeed. Treat yourself the same way. Be kind, be patient, and trust that you're learning with every step. Remember, you're not your mistakes, you're the person rising above them. Give yourself the gift of kindness today. 6. Let go of the past. There's a well-known Buddhist parable about 2 monks traveling together. They come across a river, where a woman needs help crossing. The older monk carries her across and sets her down on the other side. Hours later, the younger monk, clearly upset, says, "Why did you carry that woman? We're not supposed to touch women." The older monk replies, "I put her down hours ago, but you're still carrying her." This story reminds us how often we hold on to the past, letting it weigh us down unnecessarily. Think about a mistake, regret, or painful memory you've been holding on to. Maybe it's something you said, something you did, or something someone else did to you. How often does it resurface, making you feel stuck? Holding on to the past is like carrying a heavy bag. You can't move forward if your hands are full of yesterday's burdens. The past is a teacher, not a prison. Mistakes and regrets are part of life, but they don't define who you are. What defines you is how you choose to move forward. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from the control it has over your present. Why is it so hard to let go of the past? Often, It's because we feel attached to what could have been. We replay scenarios, hoping for a different outcome. But here's the truth. You can't change the past, but you can change how you respond to it. Ask yourself, 1. What lesson did this experience teach me? 2. How is holding on to this helping or hurting me? 3. What can I do today to focus on the present instead of the past? When you answer these questions, you begin to shift your perspective from regret to growth. You are not your past. You are the choices you make today. Every day is an opportunity to start fresh, unburdened by yesterday's mistakes or pain. The past is over. The present is where your power lies. Think of someone like Nelson Mandela. After 27 years in prison, he emerged not with bitterness, but with a vision for reconciliation and peace. He let go of the pain of the past to create a better future, not just for himself, but for an entire nation. If Mandela could let go of such profound suffering, what might you be capable of letting go? Take a moment today to write down something from your past that you're ready to release. It could be a mistake, a regret, or a hurtful memory. Then, write one lesson it taught you and one way it has made you stronger. Finally, physically let it go. Tear up the paper, burn it, or simply say out loud, I release this. It no longer controls me. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you let go of just one burden you've been carrying. Life is too short to stay stuck in yesterday. Every time you let go of the past, you open your heart to new possibilities and experiences. Be brave enough to release what no longer serves you. The monks in the story remind us that the weight we carry is often a choice. You don't have to hold on to the past. It's already gone. Let it go and focus on the opportunities that today brings. You have the strength to move forward and the courage to create a brighter future. 7. Progress takes time. Let's think about building a house. When you first see the construction site, it's just dirt and rubble. Day by day, brick by brick, the house begins to take shape. But it's a slow process. No one builds a house in a single day. Now, imagine if the builders gave up halfway, thinking, this is taking too long. The house would never be completed. This is how progress works. It's gradual, often invisible at first, but with persistence, it always adds up. Have you ever started something, learning a new skill, working on a project, or trying to improve yourself, only to feel frustrated when results didn't come quickly? Maybe you thought, why bother? It's taking too long. But think about this. Everything worthwhile takes time. The tallest trees, the strongest buildings, and the most successful people didn't grow overnight. Progress is like planting a seed. It takes patience and care before you see it bloom. Progress is a journey, not a race. It's not about how fast you move. It's about consistency. Small steps, taken every day, lead to big achievements. When you focus on steady effort rather than immediate results, you set yourself up for long-term success. Why do we often get impatient with progress? Because we live in a world that values instant gratification. We want quick fixes, fast results, and immediate rewards. But real, meaningful growth doesn't work that way. It takes time, effort, and patience. Ask yourself, 1. Am I comparing my progress to someone else's? 2. What small step can I take today to keep moving forward? 3. How can I celebrate the progress I've already made? When you shift your focus to the journey, you'll find that progress becomes more rewarding. Even the tallest mountain is climbed one step at a time. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Trust the process. And remember that progress isn't always visible. It's happening beneath the surface, like a seed taking root before it sprouts. Think about someone like Michael Jordan. Before he became a basketball legend, he was cut from his high school team. Instead of giving up, he practiced every day, improving little by little. That steady effort led to a career that inspired millions. His story reminds us that greatness is built over time, with consistent progress. Take a moment today to reflect on one goal you're working toward. Write down the small steps you've already taken and celebrate those victories. Then, identify one small action you can take today to keep moving forward. Remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. Imagine how far you could go if you committed to just one small step each day. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Be patient with yourself and trust that every effort you make is bringing you closer to the life you want. Building a house takes time. Climbing a mountain takes time. Becoming the best version of yourself takes time. Don't rush the process, embrace it. Progress may feel slow, but it's steady, and it's moving you forward. Keep going, one step at a time, and trust that you'll get there. 8. Persistence brings success. Let me tell you about Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. At the age of 65, after being forced to sell his roadside restaurant, Sanders took his fried chicken recipe and hit the road. He knocked on door after door, facing over 1,000 rejections before finally finding someone who believed in his idea. Today, KFC is one of the largest restaurant chains in the world. Imagine if Sanders had stopped after his 100th or even his 500th rejection. His persistence is what turned his vision into reality. Have you ever worked hard on something, only to face rejection or setbacks? Maybe it was a job application, a business pitch, or even a personal dream. It's easy to feel discouraged and wonder if it's worth continuing. But persistence is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up too soon. Success rarely happens on the first try. It's persistence, continuing to move forward despite obstacles, that leads to breakthroughs. Each rejection, each failure, is not the end. It's a step closer to finding the path that works. Think of persistence as the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Why do so many people give up? Often, it's because they mistake temporary failure for permanent defeat. But the truth is, every no brings you closer to a yes. Persistence builds resilience and sharpens your focus. Ask yourself, 1. What is one goal I've given up on too soon? 2. How can I reframe rejection as redirection? 3. What small step can I take today to persist toward my goal? When you embrace persistence, setbacks become stepping stones. You don't fail when you're rejected. You fail when you stop trying. Success is not about being perfect. It's about being relentless. Keep going, even when it feels hard, because persistence is the key to unlocking your potential. Think about someone like Steve Jobs. After being fired from Apple, the company he co-founded, Jobs didn't give up. Instead, he persisted, creating new ventures and eventually returning to lead Apple to even greater success. His story reminds us that setbacks are just setups for comebacks. Think about a goal or dream you've been working toward but feel like giving up on. Take a moment to write down why this goal matters to you. Then, commit to taking one small, persistent action today. It could be as simple as sending one email, making one phone call, or trying one more time. Imagine what could happen if you decided not to give up. Each time you persist, you strengthen your determination and move closer to success. Rejection isn't the end. It's part of the journey. Believe in yourself and keep going, because the results will be worth it. Colonel Sanders faced over 1,000 rejections before finding success, and Steve Jobs turned a major setback into a historic comeback. You have that same power within you. Persistence isn't just about holding on, it's about moving forward, one step at a time. Don't give up on yourself. The next step could be the one that changes everything. 9. Self-improvement over perfection. Let's talk about Michelangelo, the renowned sculptor who created the iconic statue of David. When asked about his process, Michelangelo said, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free." He didn't start with perfection. He started with a rough block of stone. Bit by bit, he chipped away at the imperfections until the masterpiece emerged. This is the essence of self-improvement, progress over perfection. Have you ever hesitated to start something because you felt you weren't ready or good enough? Maybe it was applying for a job, starting a new hobby, or pursuing a goal. You might think, "I'll wait until I'm perfect." But here's the truth. Perfection is an illusion. No one starts perfect, and no one ever reaches it. What matters is getting better, one step at a time. Self-improvement is about growth, not flawlessness. Perfectionism often leads to procrastination because we're so afraid of making mistakes. But mistakes are how we learn and improve. Every step you take, no matter how small or imperfect, brings you closer to your goals. Why do we chase perfection? Often, it's because we fear judgment or failure. But the pursuit of perfection can paralyze us, stopping us from taking action. Instead, focus on progress. Ask yourself, 1. What's one small thing I can improve today? 2. How can I measure my growth instead of aiming for perfection? 3. How can I celebrate the progress I've made so far? When you prioritize self-improvement, you'll find joy in the journey instead of frustration in the chase for perfection. You don't need to be perfect to make a difference. Every day is an opportunity to become a better version of yourself. Not the perfect version, but a version that's growing and learning. Progress, no matter how small, is what truly matters. Think about athletes like Simone Biles or Serena Williams. They didn't achieve greatness overnight. They focused on consistent improvement, training day by day, learning from mistakes, and celebrating small victories. Their stories remind us that growth, not perfection, leads to excellence. Take a moment today to identify one area of your life where you want to improve. Write down a small, actionable step you can take right now. Whether it's reading a chapter of a book, practicing a skill, or simply showing up, commit to it. Remember, you don't need to be perfect, just better than yesterday. Imagine how freeing it would feel to let go of the pressure to be perfect. Instead of striving for flawlessness, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Step by step, growth is messy, but it's also beautiful. Trust the process, and be proud of how far you've come. Michelangelo didn't create David in a single stroke. He carved it, little by little. You don't have to be perfect to start. You just have to begin. Self-improvement is about progress, not perfection. Embrace the small steps, and trust that every effort you make is shaping something extraordinary. 10. Be the light you seek. There's a story about a small village that was often plunged into darkness because of power outages. One day, a young boy decided to light a single candle and place it in the center of the village square. Soon, others followed his lead, bringing their own candles. What started as one small light turned into a glow that lit up the entire village. The boy didn't wait for someone else to fix the problem. He became the light he wanted to see. Have you ever found yourself waiting for the right moment, the right person, or the perfect opportunity to change your life? Maybe you've thought, if only I had more support or more resources, I could finally take that step. But what if you didn't need to wait? What if the power to start was already within you? You don't need to wait for the world to change. You can create the change you seek. Often, we look for external solutions, but the truth is, the light we're searching for is already inside us. When you take the first step, no matter how small, you inspire others to do the same. Why do we hesitate to be the light? Often, it's fear of failure or the belief that our actions are too small to matter. But even a single candle can light a dark room. Ask yourself, 1. What's one area of your life where you're waiting for change? 2. How can you take the first step to create that change today? 3. Who might you inspire by taking action? When you choose to act, you not only transform your own life, but also inspire others to find their own light. You have the power to be the light in your own life and in the lives of others. Don't underestimate the impact of your actions. No matter how small, by stepping into your light, you create a ripple effect that can brighten the world around you. Think about leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, who famously said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Gandhi didn't wait for the world to change. He became the light that inspired millions. His story reminds us that each of us has the power to create change by starting with ourselves. Take a moment to reflect on something you've been waiting for, whether it's an opportunity, a sign, or someone else's approval. Write down one small step you can take today to create that change. Then take it. Don't wait for the light to come. Be the one who lights the candle. Imagine how different the world would be if everyone stopped waiting and started acting. You have that power. You don't need permission, and you don't need perfection. All you need is the courage to take the first step. Trust that your light, no matter how small, is enough to make a difference. The boy in the village didn't wait for someone else to bring the light. He became it. You can do the same. Be the light you're looking for. Take action, no matter how small, and watch how it inspires others. Remember, the world doesn't change by waiting. It changes when people like you decide to shine. As we come to the end of this journey through 10 transformative Buddhist principles, remember this: you hold incredible power within you. Each lesson we've explored today is a reminder that your challenges, your setbacks, and your fears are not the end of your story. They're just the beginning of your transformation. You have the strength to rise above mistakes, the patience to embrace progress, and the courage to be the light in your own life. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. Every failure is a lesson, and every day is a new chance to grow, to shine, and to become the person you were meant to be. So, as you move forward, take these principles with you. Let them guide you, inspire you, and remind you of the limitless potential within you. And above all, know this: you are enough, just as you are, and the best is yet to come. Go out there and create the life you deserve. You've got this. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need these words today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next inspiring message. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.